What's up everybody, Anthony here from the Meeple People, and I am doing a deck tech video for my Chaos deck that I piloted at the very first constructed event for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Champions at Gen Con 2018. This is a mono red Chaos deck. There is no blue, which means no wizards, no spells. Khorne doesn't like magic, neither do I. So this deck is all about straight, blunt force right to your opponent. You will probably win the game before you even flip a blessing. Let's go over the champions, the blessings, and then we'll go over the units and the very few abilities that we run. First things first, we have 2 Aspiring Deathbringers. There's a lot of remove, there's a decent amount of remove in the deck, so more than likely every unit in front of them is going to deal the additional damage. Plus they're just cheapo guys to put out to round out our champion points. Next up, we have Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury. He increases the damage from highlighted units on their last corner against your opponent by 1. Plus a lot of our units have last stand abilities, so crazy amounts of damage from them. And what better way to get to that last rotation than with Valkia the Bloody. Heroic Act, rotate a highlighted non-demon unit 1 step forwards. If this triggers a damage effect, increase it by 1. There is only 1 demon unit in, well, there's 2 of them, but we only play 1 demon unit in this entire deck. Everything else is non-demon, and you want to put her either in one of the 2 middle slots to get full value from her and deal insane damage throughout the game. Alright, so from the top of the deck we're going to go over units and then abilities. So first things first, abilities first, never mind, forgive me. Alright, so now we're going to go over the blessings. First, we have Unrivaled Battle-Lust. 1 damage to yourself, increase the damage done to your opponent from highlighted allies by whatever the corner says. Like I said, there are a ton of units in this deck, not that many abilities, so increase by 3, increase by 2, increase by 2. You don't care about taking that damage because of the amount of damage you're going to be inflicting onto your opponent. Chaos Runeblade, Heroic Act. Damage to your opponent, rotate this 1 step forward. Once again, damage, that's all this deck is about, is pure damage, nothing else. Skull Throne, which just so happens to be my favorite foil in this entire game. It's beautiful. Skull Throne, increased damage done by whatever number's on the corner. Corners 1 to 3. When you remove a unit, rotate this 1 step forwards. So you're gonna basically just remove 1 unit and just have a constant +1 to your entire front line. If you get further than that, congratulations, but like I said, you'll more than likely win the game before this even comes out. And lastly, we have the starter exclusive blessing, the Path of Skulls. 2 damage to your opponent at the start of your turn. This is the one that you want flipped before any other because it's constant no matter what. Alright, so now let's look at the units and then the abilities. Starting with my favorite unit that Chaos has, Bloodfury Wrathmonger. It's a rare, each corner, 2 damage to your opponent, 1 damage to yourself, and his last stand is to remove a highlighted unit. We are running we are running a playset of these. 2 of them are foil. If anyone else has if you have a foil one of these that you don't want, send it my way, please. Thank you very much. Next we have Vulcharc Acolyte. 1 damage on each corner, damage to your opponent. When a highlighted wizard plays a card, deal 4 damage to your opponent. Since we know for a fact we're more than likely going to be up against a wizard at some point, more than likely every game, this is a great replacement for the champion that comes in the starter deck. I honestly don't remember his name, so we're going to put him up on the screen right about now. That guy. So yeah, good replacement for him. And plus, you don't have to worry about your champion placement when playing this guy because he's a unit. So as soon as you see someone where the wizard is, boom, put that down, do more damage every time they play a spell. Great card, and we like it so much that we're running a playset of them. Our next unit is Blood Warrior Berserker. Damage to your opponent. Increase damage done to your opponent from highlighted units by whatever the number is. So he'll be dealing 1 and he'll give +1 to the units next to him. He'll be dealing 2, give +2 to the units next to him. Once again, a playset. 1's foil. Please send me 2 more foils. Next we have Fanatical Skullfiend. Corners 1 and 3, damage to yourself. Corners 2 and 4, damage to your opponent. Last stand, 2 damage to your opponent. Take a damage, deal 3. Take a damage, deal 3. Then deal an additional 2. Why not? Good card? So good. Yep. Another playset. Insatiable Bloodreaver. As the center's play, remove a highlighted unit. So one of your units that's on its last corner already, just get rid of it. Damage to your opponent, gain 2 health. We're running 2 of him. Fearless Khorgoraths. I'm more than likely going to bump this up to a playset. Right now we're running 2, but it's it's damage to your opponent, so 2 and then 1, and then the highlighted champion cannot deploy units. Right now I only have 2 in the deck, as you can see. More than likely bumping it to 3, but for now 2. Gore-Slick Skullreaper. That was awful. Gore-Slick Skullreaper. That's a tongue twister. Rend damage to your opponent, and its last stand is 2 damage to your opponent. Notice how his second corner is not an X, it is a blank. That means anything that can pump damage will do so. Great card. We have 2 in the deck. Rampaging Bloodreavers. As the center's play, remove a highlighted allied unit, damage to your opponent. Restart this if a highlighted enemy unit leaves play. When you see something on its last dial, immediately, not last dial, like second to last, you play him, so you're guaranteed for him to restart. Pretty good card. We're running 2 of them. Just gets more damage in there. This is the only demon in the deck. We have the Slashing Screamer. X2-3, damage to your opponent, 1 damage to yourself. Heroic Act, 1 damage to yourself. Remove a highlighted unit. We run 2 of these, might bump it to 3. Might not have to, because, well, we might bump this to 3 and then keep the other guy that removes units down to 2, but it's early. The game's almost a month old, not even. We have time to think, but right now, 2. Now on to the abilities. So we have Daemonic Fury. Can only be played by a demon champion. We have 1 demon champion, so we know where that's going. Plus, we don't run spells, so you can play this whenever you want. Can only be played by a demon champion. 2 damage to yourself, 5 damage to your opponent. Once again, maximum damage output. We run 3 of these because we want to kill our opponent as fast as we can. And then the last card in the deck is, well, no, it's not the last card. I forgot. I run another card. Whoops. Blood Hunt. Remove a highlighted spell or unit. Gain 1 health. This is the only spell removal in the deck. So if you're going up against a Nagash deck, actually no, if you're going up against actually almost every death deck when you think about it, or even Order. Well, Death and Order are your 2 big spell factions right now. You're going to want to hold on to this card. You don't want to use it sparingly. That's basically all I have to tell you. Gaining the health might help you a little bit, but it's mainly to get rid of like all those the bolts that deal 7 damage and then get them out of the way as fast as you can. We run 3 of these, and then the last card in the deck, we have Scorn of Sorcery. 2 damage to your opponent. Increase this by 3 if the highlighted champion controls a spell. So it's pretty good to play this and then play Blood Hunt. You use the spell to your advantage and then you just get rid of it. So that's the deck tech. Like I said, maximum damage output. Do as much damage as you can. Beat your opponent before you even flip a blessing. Make a statement. Show them that Khorne has no sympathy for anyone. Win every game with this deck. I hope you guys enjoyed, this deck tech. Be on the lookout for a couple more in the future. We'll be covering Death, Destruction, and Order. But for now, this is what you get, and I really hope you enjoy it. I'm Anthony, and I'll see you later.